a while. You guys know me from back in the day. But I always like telling my story, guys, because one thing that I've learned about like kind of like getting my success is the fact that I always tell my newest story because one second. Okay, cool. I got the hosting abilities. Good stuff. I always tell I always tell my story because you never know who the newest person is. There might be one person on here who's never heard me before. They might relate to my story. And one of the biggest changes that I made was I stopped cutting corners, right? You've probably been in that position where you're doing a presentation and there's some things that you may do, or you might ask a client, do you know what an ROP term is? And you don't explain it. And because you don't explain it, you could possibly lose a sale. The same thing with your story, right? If you don't tell your story every single time, you can potentially lose somebody. And if you lose somebody, it could be your biggest giant. I've learned that in this business, in this industry. So real quick, my story, guys, like Helen said, I'm Max Life Born. I got a line tattooed on my back. I'm not even playing. It's not a joke. I have a line tattooed on my back, but I'm Max Life Born. I'm so grateful for Curtis, C4, and Spring Eatman. I'm super grateful because without them, I wouldn't be in the business. I remember sitting down in my living room and C3 doing my interview, my recruiting interview, and he recruited me. I'm like, man, it sounds great. But I wasn't in the position in my life where I said, hey, I want to take this thing seriously. I might be like somebody who's on this call. It's very comfortable. I made a lot of money at my 6 figures at my job. I had a check coming in every 2 weeks. I was very comfortable. So I came in here, half of me is better. It's still good. So I half-assed it. I came in there, I did a little bit, and I ended up quitting. It's because I didn't personal develop. I didn't grow as a person. And, when adversity hits you, which everyone is called, if it hasn't hit you yet, it's going to hit you. I made a decision to go around adversity instead of going through it. And when you go around it, you get delayed in life for years. So where I'm at today, I should have been there 3-4 years ago, guys, because I got coded in 2014. I ended up quitting the business for 3-something odd years. And I remember, at my current job that I was at before, I was working at in this company called Living Spaces in Southern California, one of the largest furniture companies. I was a pretty high up position. I made well over 6 figures there. And part of my job was to go and teach business sales to the reps there. And I remember one of my reps pulling me aside and saying, hey man, you're part of corporate. I want to tell you what's going on in my life. I'm homeless. I live in my car with my 3 kids and my wife, and I need a raise. Man, I've been with this company for 14 freaking years and I deserve to get paid higher. I want to get promoted. And I told him, I said, hey man, if you follow my lead, let me mentor you. If you do everything I say, I can't do it overnight, but in 6 months, I can possibly get you promoted. He was the next person up for the job, the next man up, the best person for the job. And I remember, giving him a promotion from, $16 an hour to $65,000 a year. And my boss coming to me and saying, hey, did you just promote this gentleman? I'm like, yeah. Well, I'm taking it away because we have a personal issue. It has nothing to do with Living Spaces, but we have a personal issue outside of it. And because I'm your boss, I'm revoking it. And then it was funny because I ended up calling Chris Hart, and I'm like, man, I'm venting to him. I'm like, man, I can't do this anymore. And it was at a point in his career where he's making really good money. I'm like, man, I don't know why I left this industry. And it's funny, I'm telling you guys this story because when I quit the business, I looked at everybody's Instagram. I looked at everybody's Facebook, everybody's social media, and I would see people winning. I'm like, man, should I go back? And at that point, I just had enough. I said, enough's enough. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make a comeback. And I remember coming back in 2017 and really just starting to develop myself, and I'm the man I am today because of that. So I certainly think that at any given time, it just takes one little decision that you make to yourself. And you declare it to yourself, and because you make that decision, you go out there and you say, I'm going to do something great in life. So today, guys, I want to do a lot of things. I want to talk to you guys about how to becoming a champion in business and in life. Okay, that's the main thing I want to talk to you guys today. I want to also talk to you guys about your FA promotion right now is on discount 444. I want to talk to you guys about, hey, if you're brand new in the company, how can you get 444 right away? If you've been around the company, maybe you've been here for 3-4 years and you're like, hey, I'm trying to knock out this 444, but I don't know how to do it. It's going to work for you guys as well. So let's get to it real quick. being a champion in life and being a champion in business is something that's big. It's something that's able to take you and push you to be better. But like I said, it's a decision that you have to make to say, hey, I'm going to go out there and get it done. So one thing about me, guys, I love quotes. I love making quotes. This is a quote. Stop being afraid of change. Instead, embrace the inevitable and take a chance. Right? It's something that's really big because I feel like a lot of people are always afraid of change. Right? You can't be afraid of change. You gotta embrace that and go out there and take a chance in life. And that's one of the biggest things. And once you go out there and take a chance and you put both feet in, you're like, man, okay, I can do this thing, right? So I strongly believe if you want to become a champion in business and a champion in life, it starts with a mindset. Your mindset has to be right, right? It takes the kind of passion, right, that's born deep within your belly, right? When you wake up in the morning and you're saying, hey, I'm going to get after this thing. I'm going to go out there and recruit. I'm going to go out there and build a team. It takes that passion. You have to have a passion that you know it's your purpose to go out there and do something special, right? It takes continuous persistence, right? You got to be persistent towards your dreams when everybody is telling you to let it go. And it's one of those things where I always knew that I can do something big in this company. I would have dreams that I would wake up and I was like, I was a giant in PHP. It was funny. And I'm like, man, I still work at Living Spaces. What the heck? I want to go back to my dream. But I knew that I can always do something big if I put my mind to it. But with me, it was about not listening to other people. And I promise you guys, if this hasn't happened to you yet, it will happen to you where somebody is going to tell you something and you're going to either listen to it or not. And most people listen to it. I'll give you guys an example. I remember when I came back and I left Living Spaces, a job that paid me 5 times a month. I got paid each week, plus I got a bonus check at the end of the week, at the end of the month. I got paid 5 times a month, very comfortable. I made pretty good money. I made really good money right there. And I was at a point in my life where I was like, you know what? I want to know what my full potential is. Because I knew that making $120,000 a year, I could never, ever live out my dreams and goals. I could never live out my dreams and goals. So I had to put myself in a position where I can say, hey, I can influence others. I can build a team and I can go out there and make what I want to make and what I'm worth. So what happened with me was, it was funny because the moment I quit, I didn't really tell anybody. I told the people who were closest to me. Obviously, I told my mom, I told the Hearts, I said, hey, I'm walking away from my job. I ended up walking away. And my mom got really upset. She's like, what are you doing? You have a 7-year-old daughter, now 8. She just turned 8 2 days ago. You have an 8-year-old, you have a 7-year-old daughter, and you're walking away from a job that's very comfortable, giving you it's giving you everything that you currently have right now. And it was funny because at 7 a.m., from 8 to 8 a.m., that's when my mom, she works for the church, she works for the county, for the Department of Church and Services. She would call me at 7 a.m. for her hour drive from 7 to 8. And from 7 a.m. to 7:30, she would call me and say, oh man, I don't know what you're doing. You're crazy for leaving your job. You need to leave PHP, go back to your job where you're comfortable at, where you're making money, and stop chasing this dream that will never come true. And I would hear that every single day, guys, from 7 to 7:30. From 7:30 to 8, the conversation would change from her saying, hey, I hate my job. I'm not making enough money. I'm not going to be able to retire until I'm 70 years old. I can't believe I'm in this position. It would change to all kind of negative things about her job. And I had to realize if I listen to her when I'm in her position, when I'm 60 years old, I'm going to be in the same position she's at. And I told myself, I said, I can't listen to people that I don't desire their lifestyle. And I just totally weeded it out. And I kept pushing. And this didn't happen overnight, but now I'm in a position where my mom, she calls me and says, hey, she's got a BMW, and she's like, my engine went out. My engine's blown. I need a new engine. And now I was able to go purchase her a new engine for $8,000 the other day and say, hey, I walked up, no problem. Here's $8,000, fix the car. Here's cash, get it done, right? But we're only able to get put in that position, guys, if we find out what our true purpose is and we continue to grind, we continue to work, right? But you can't let somebody freaking kill your dreams. And I see it happen every single day. It takes jumping in with both feet because there's absolutely no other possibility than going for it all. I'm at a point in a stage in my life, and we're talking about levels of leadership, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. I'm at a stage in my life where I'm like, I got to go all in. I don't care. I'm going all in, both feet in, full body in. I'm not even protecting myself, right? It's like getting in the ring. I don't know. I don't care. I'm going for it all. But you have to have that mindset where like, screw it, man. This is my opportunity. It's 2020. We're in the middle of a freaking pandemic. If I can succeed in business in the middle of a pandemic, what can I do in 2021? What can I do in 2022? But you won't find this out unless you go all in. Right? It takes a willingness to get knocked down and then get back up stronger than ever before. Can you get knocked down right now in life and get back up and say, rub it off and keep going? You got to get to that point in your life where like, hey, if I get rejected on this phone call, if I get rejected in this appointment, in this KTP, if I get rejected by going out there and trying to prospect somebody and they say, no, it's not going to kill me in business. I'm going to fall, but then I'm going to get right back up and continue pushing forward. It takes pushing yourself beyond what you thought you were capable of. No, you got to push yourself where you're like, hey, man, I'm freaking exhausted. I go one more hour, right? Oh, I'm freaking tired. I don't feel like doing this appointment. I'm going to match it out. No, take the freaking appointment. If your downline calls you and says, hey, man, I just got off of work and maybe you've been in the office since 8 a.m., 7 a.m. in the morning, and you've been grinding and now it's 8 p.m. at night, and you're still in the freaking office, and your downline asks, hey, can you make a phone call for me? Can you call my top 25 list? And you're freaking exhausted. You got to find out what you're really made of, and you got to go over and beyond, and you got to make those phone calls. When you get into that mindset, things start changing in your business, right? It takes failing is not an option stance with the desire to win and win again. Failing is not an option for nobody in this call. You can't have that as an option and say, oh, well, I failed. It's not going to work for me. No. You go do it again until this thing works for you. Continue to do it because you got to ask yourself, what the heck are you going to do? I had one of my agents talk to me the other day and like, man, I'm going to quit because I missed a freaking promotion. I said, what are you talking about? You're going to quit and do what? You just told me that you're living paycheck to paycheck. You tell me you're going to quit and go back to living paycheck to paycheck? That doesn't make any sense. You can't sit there and say, I'm going to fail and just leave the business. No, you continue to grind until this thing works, guys. I promise you, you continue to grind. You continue to stay coachable to the Eatmans. They will take you to the promised land, guys. A lot of stuff that I'm talking about today, I learned from them. Sometimes it just doesn't take effect right away. But a lot of it's from coaching from them, guys. I'm freaking Max Life born, right? It takes learning when to be humble and listen and learn, right? So with me, a lot of people are calling me and saying, can you train my team? What are you doing? I can't be big-headed about it. No, I'm humble. I want to learn from C4 and Spring. I haven't reached their level yet. They know something I don't freaking know. I'm not going to walk around with my chest held out so that I know everything. I'm coachable to Dr. Lynn Cooper. I'm coachable to Hearts, right? You got to be humble. So what happens in this business, you have a big month. Maybe you recruited 10 people, or maybe you went out there and wrote up 10,000 points, 25,000 points. And now you think you know it all. And now you miss the information that comes to you in trainings like this, because there's somebody on this call who's sitting like this because they know it all, right? And it's funny because it could be something that they can learn from each training that can completely change their business, but they're not open to it because they're not humble. Guys, I hope you understand this language, right? It takes creativity and commitment. You got to be creative in this business, guys. You got to be freaking creative. That's one of the things that I'm trying to get better at. I'm like, okay, I got to be creative. I'm going to talk to you guys later on tonight about being creative in your business. How can you be creative to go hit 444? We're going to talk about these different strategies, guys. I'm excited. I'm always fired up because when you come out here and you're able to talk to people, you can change somebody's life. And where I was at in a position where me and working at Living Space or working at Apple, working for these different companies, I can only elevate people that are around me. But this is no limit to it, guys. Right now we have people on this call in Las Vegas. I've seen people on this call in Texas. There's people on this call in California where they're expanding, guys. Right? It takes a courageous heart. You got to be courageous. Are you courageous? You give it everything you got. It takes stepping out and raising up full of grace and fire, right? Enough's enough. Raise up and say, I'm going to take this thing and we're going to go out there and make it happen. It takes a dream that must be realized no matter what, no matter how, no matter when, it must become a reality. Are you telling yourself this every day where you're saying, hey, I don't know, I have this dream. I don't know how the hell it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know that I'm eventually going to make my dream a reality if I continue to move forward. Because in life, you have to continue to move forward. You've got to progress. You've got to get better. And if you're in a position right now where you're stagnant and you're saying, man, I'm not getting better, that just means you're not working. That just means you're not coachable. But it's only so much your upline can do for you in this business. At some point, you got to take this in your own hands and you got to say, what the hell? I got to get better. What can I do on a daily basis to push forward, and get better, right? And you got to look at yourself in the mirror and take responsibility and say, I haven't been doing X, Y, and Z, right? Maybe you're sleeping in too much, right? Maybe you're working and giving everything you got to your 9 to 5, and then when you get off, you're so exhausted, and you know you need to make phone calls, you know you need to go out there and prospect, but you rather go home and take a shower and go to bed. It's your fault, not your upline's fault. That's something that you got to take responsibility of and say, screw it. All right, after tonight, I'm changing. I'm not waiting till next week to change. I'm not waiting till freaking August to change. I'm going to change today. Guys, let's talk about it, right? How can you get 4 direct business partners? This is really, really important. If you're somebody who's brand new in the business, you're somebody who's been around the business, it doesn't matter. You got to understand there's 3 different types of recruits. There's 3 different types of recruits that you're looking for, guys. And it's somebody who wants to do the business. They want to get licensed, appointed, and attend all trainings. They want to change their life. They're looking for something different, guys. They want to go out there and experience making $20,000 a month, right? I was so excited. I was on the MD call last month or earlier this month or something, and Patrick Bet-David called out Ron and Kenny. I think they made like $19,000, $18,000, something like that. I was like, goodness gracious, can I borrow some freaking money, right? But they want to experience that, guys. There's people out there who want to experience that freaking lifestyle where they can make $19,000 a freaking month, right? But they can't currently do it in their current position. No matter how high they go in their job, they can never get to that ceiling. They can never reach that potential. So when you offer them this opportunity, the sky's the limit, right? So they really want to go out there and do this business. That's one type of recruit. Great, recruit them. The part of Max Life hierarchy. Great, right? The lion is awesome, right? The second type of recruit is somebody who wants to make extra money, but they are extremely busy. They don't mind getting licensed and splitting business with you as an upline, right? They're just super busy. Maybe they work 16 hours a day. Maybe they got kids, so they get home, they got to attend and spend a little time with their kids. They got to make dinner, all that kind of stuff, preparation. I get it. Not everybody has the time for this business. But guess what? You can help them make a slowly transition. If they're willing to go get a license, they're willing to have you run the freaking appointments. They're willing to have you get the prospects. If they're willing to do that, you can go out there and you can split them, help them make that transition. That's somebody who you can bring in the business. Guys, the last one's my favorite. The last one is somebody who isn't interested in insurance or business, guys. They hate insurance. They hate business. They hate everything about any type of opportunity. They're negative, right? They're very negative. But guess what? There's still a soft place in their heart. They still care about you. They still want you to go out there and win. They still want you to do something special in life. And because of that, they're willing to go out there and say, hey, I'll go ahead and get coded if it means it helps you out as an agent. I don't mind going out there and paying $199 if it means it helps you progress in this company. And that's how you're going to go out there and get your 4 directs. You're going to find out which one of the 3 they fit into, and you're going to code them up. And you got to have freaking urgency. And if you're brand new in this business and you maybe been in for a month, a week, I don't know, you got to have urgency, even though you shouldn't know why you should have urgency. You have urgency because it's coming from me. I'm telling you right now, there's people in my office right now who've been in the business for 3+ years and not an FA yet. You have an opportunity to come into this business and hit it right away. It's perfect timing. 444, go knock it out. If you've been in the business for a while and you're saying, man, that's me that he's talking about. There's an opportunity for you to go out there and knock it out, but you can't stand in your own way. It's funny how people stand in their own way. Move out the freaking way, leverage the people around you, and go knock this thing out. If you got to take it in your own hands and go do it, go do it. I don't care how you do it, but you should go out there and knock it out. You should be thinking that, hey, if I'm not an FA, I'm going to do everything in my power to get to FA. If I'm an FA right now, I'm going to do everything in my power to get my structure set up for ND, which is 3 direct FAs. So I got to go find 3 people that I can go out there and promote. And I don't care if I got to work 10 hours a day. I don't care if I got to get to the office at 7 a.m. I don't care if I have to stay at the office till 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. I don't care if I have to stay till midnight at the office. One way or another, I'm going to get this thing done because it matters. It matters to me. It matters to my team. It matters to C4 in spring. It matters to Liberation. We're running for a team of the decade. Everything counts. It matters, right? And you got to have that mentality that everything freaking matters. So let's get into it, guys. You're gonna figure out where I'm going with this. But let's still talk about it. I put this presentation together for you guys because it matters, right? Let's talk about life insurance for a second. Life insurance lane, right? I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but 60% of people in the United States were covered by some type of life insurance in 2019, right? So according to Limmer's in 2019 insurance, right, study, that they said 60% of people are covered by life insurance. Now, whether that's through their job with group insurance, whether that's individual insurance, we don't know those numbers. But we do know that there's 60% of people that currently have life insurance. So a question you have to ask yourself is you got to be creative. You got to ask yourself, what does that mean to you? When I did this research, I said, okay, I sat back, I put myself in a room with nobody in there. I said, okay, what does this mean for me? And how can I capitalize off of this? And how can my team capitalize off of it, right? So I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. There's a company, guys, by the name of Prime America. We all know them. Nothing wrong with them. Great company, right? Let's talk about them for a second. Prime America was founded in February 10th, 1977 by Art Williams and his wife, Angela Williams, right? And 85 other colleagues. Sounds a little familiar. It's pretty crazy. As I was looking at this, I'm like, because I know PHP was founded in 2009, of October 2009, and it was with by Patrick Bet-David and 66 other colleagues. So when we look at it, I'm like, that sounds a little familiar, right? So let's continue. Prime America became a publicly traded company April 1st, 2010, right? I'll repeat it. Prime America became a publicly traded company April 1st, 2010, right? Prime America's home office is in Metro Atlanta, right? And some of you guys are like, well, is this a Prime America training? No, it's not, right? As of 2019, Prime America reported over 140,000 licensed agents. I'm gonna pause there for a second. I'm gonna repeat it. As of 2019, Prime America has reported to have over 140,000 licensed agents. Think about this for a second, guys. I want to say last month we did, it was 10,000 policies or whatnot. I want to say it was last month we did it. Correct me if I'm wrong. As far as the company, we did some substantial amount of policies that we've never done before as a company, right? And that's with 15,000 licensed agents. Right, I'm gonna repeat that. We did some large amount of policies that we have never done before. We did more than a lot of different companies have ever done before. We broke a lot of records with 15,000 licensed and appointed agents. Okay, so what you got to do is you got to think about it. How many policies you think they're selling if they have 140,000 licensed agents or over that? Think about how many policies they're going out there and actually selling, right? And you're saying, okay, great. Now I know they're going out there and selling a heck of a lot of policies. So if we look at it and we say, okay, 60% of people are covered by insurance. What's the percentage that you would think that's covered by them? We don't know, right? So Prime America has insured over 6 million lives and has over 2 million investment accounts as of December 2019. I'll repeat it. Prime America has insured over 6 million lives and has over 2 million investments accounts as of December 2019, right? So we're looking and saying, okay, great, Bowman, you freaking told me about the 3 different recruits. I don't struggle with recruits, Bowman. I'm good with that. I can go get 5 today. My problem is I struggle with apps. Give me something that can help me out. Let's talk about it. So let's do a comparison chart. So we do a comparison chart here. On the left-hand side, you have National Life Group. On the right-hand side, you have Prime America, or at least on my screen, right? Well, let's talk about it. Prime America, National Life Group, 37-year-old male, standard for $600,000, 20-year term, $65 a month. It's gonna come to the 80 to the 95 years old. They got terminal illness. It's got the chronic illness, critical illness, critical injury, everything, right? All living benefits attached to it. Same age, 37-year-old male, standard $600,000, 20-year term with Prime America, $126 a month. It's got terminal illness at 40%, nothing else, right? So with that, we gotta look at it and say, okay, how can you be freaking creative, right? How can we capitalize on that freaking market? How can we make sure that there's 59 people on this call, right? Those of you guys who are not FAs, how can we capitalize and say, hey, we're gonna go out there and get our 444? How can we capitalize if you are FA to be a leader in your team and say, I'm gonna go out there and lead from the front and do 444, right? Let's talk about it. How to find 4 apps and 4,000 points. This is what we're currently doing right now in my base shop. A lot of people is asking me, hey, what are you doing? How are you going out there writing apps? This is what we're doing, right? So I have my team call everybody in their contact list, and we're doing a survey. Very, very simple, guys. The survey sounds like this, right? You call somebody, you pick anybody on your team. Before I even start with this, guys, and you take a screenshot, I'll kind of tell you what I did, right? This all started last Monday. For those of you guys on the MD call, you guys can relate to this. If you're not on the MD call, get on the MD call. I got called out by our fearless leader, Dr. Lynn Cooper. And he said, Bowman, man, you can make so much more money if you continue building your base shop, but you started writing your personal pin needs to go up. And I looked at him like, you're absolutely right, man. I need to freaking start going out there and making sure that I'm writing personal business. I'm writing my own personal appointments as well and leading my team up from the front. So after that call, guys, I'm in a different level right now where I'm like, okay, boom, I got to create something. I created this strategy right after that call last Monday. I went out there that same day. I created these scripts. I made a call to a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, I would call her. She was a colleague of mine. We were co-workers 10 years ago at a company called Sprint, right? You guys probably know that company, right? We worked together at Sprint. I was her store manager there. And I called her. And I did this survey that we're going to talk about. And I asked her simply, does she have, does she have life insurance, right? She says, no, I don't, but my mom does. And she's got Prime America. And I told her, I said, hey, I told her the script. I said, hey, you know what? I was wondering if I'm able to go out there and show you the same coverage or more for less money. Would she be open to that? She says, possibly. Let's run an appointment. I said, okay, when's she available? She's available at 5 p.m. We run an appointment that day at 5 p.m., guys. I switched over her mom's Prime America policy, and then I also write a policy on my old coworker. I submitted 7,500 points, like that, guys. One of my agents did this last night. Got a phone call at 9 p.m. She submitted 9,000 points last night, like that, right? So what it is this. It's great. You're gonna call people in your contact list, whether they're coworkers from previous jobs, whether you know them from high school, whatever. You're gonna call. You're doing a survey. It sounds like this. Hey, I just got started with a company working in the financial industry. We are doing a survey, and I was wondering if you currently have life insurance. Very, very simple. If they respond, they say yes. They say great. If I can save you money and get you the same coverage or more, would you be interested in learning more? Right now with COVID-19, I've learned that a lot of people are interested in saving a buck because obviously they're either the hours got cut or they're laid off, and they know that insurance is important. Those who have insurance know it's important. They want to keep it. So if you can go out there and save them a buck, they're willing to listen to you. And I'm getting a lot of a good response from them. It's like, yeah, I would love to hear about it. Let me at least hear about it. And then from there, you're just running quotes. You're figuring out what they have, run an appointment, sell the value of insurance. I just ran an appointment in front of her mom, and my old coworker was like, wow, well, I have $500 I've been putting in the bank. Can you show me how this IUL thing grows? Absolutely. Great. I want that. Right. And she got that policy. So with her and her mom came out to 7,500 points. Right. So if they say no, your response is, hey, COVID-19 is a serious issue. if I can show you how affordable life insurance is, or if I can show you how to create a long-term savings or tax-free retirement, leveraging life insurance, would you be interested in learning more about it? It's very simple. So what I learned, guys, in this business, the worst somebody can say is no. Guess what? What you do when that happens? You hang up and call somebody else. It happens again, you hang up and call somebody else. The worst thing somebody can say is no. Once you get over that fear of being rejected, you're good. Nothing can help you out. Nothing hurts in this business. There's so many times a day, every day I'm freaking rejected. I'm like, cool. I actually get excited now when I get rejected because I know that the more no's that I get, the closer I am to a yes. Very simple. In this business, it's a numbers game. We're reading the book, The Game of Numbers, right? It's a numbers game, guys, in this business. If you take this, some of you guys will take it, some of you guys won't. Very few of you guys will do it. But I tell you, for those of you guys who take this and implement this strategy, you'll notice that your points is going to go up, right? Your points are going to go up. But if you want to go out there and be a champion in business, guys, or in life, remember, you have to be creative. So after this presentation, sit back and ask yourself, hey, how creative am I in business? How creative am I in life? You got to be freaking creative, guys. And I learned that the hard route because I like I said, I left my job, guys. It is crazy how thankful I am right now. I thank God every single day for the position I'm at. But I wasn't in this position right away, guys. I remember driving down the street and having I had to sell my daughter. I remember driving down. I quit my job. I was like 6 months doing this, I think 3 months full time. And I was waiting for some policies to be drafted and get paid out. And I was absolutely freaking broke, the lowest point in my life. And I remember having a conversation with my daughter. I'm driving down the street. There's a McDonald's on the left-hand side. And my daughter, she was, Dad, I want a Happy Meal. I think it was like $4 or something. I had to have a conversation because I didn't have $4 to my name. I didn't have $4 to my name. I had to have a conversation and sell my daughter on why a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is better than a Happy Meal. Guys, I felt like crap. It was the worst position I was in my freaking life. I said, how can I leave a job that pays me that kind of money? And I didn't save anything. I was that type of guy where I spent my money as fast as it came in. I was sitting to myself, and I'll tell you, I'll be straightforward for you guys. I'm very transparent. I don't care what you think about me, but I cried like a baby that night. And I was like, man, I gotta provide and be a better example for my daughter. I gotta start taking this thing seriously. I just freaking had a conversation a few hours ago, and I had this conversation in my head about how a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is better than a Happy Meal. I know she wants that Happy Meal, and I can't afford it. And it only costs $4 freaking. And I know some of you guys in this call may be in that freaking position right now. You're like, damn, that's me. You can get out of it, but you got to grind. And you got to take all the tips that somebody gives you and you got to implement them in your business, implement them in your life. And when you start implementing these things, these strategies, when you start becoming coachable and listening and knowing that your upline wants what's best for you, your life will change. Because I didn't think that. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't think that my freaking upline wanted the best for me. I didn't. So when he told me to go left, I'm going right. And it wasn't until I sat there and I said, you know what? Let me try being coachable. Let me try listening. Let me try just following somebody that's somewhere where I want to get to at some point in my life. And when I made that freaking decision to go out there and be coachable, to go out there and follow, it's just to be quiet and just listen and be humble and learn from somebody, my life started to slowly change. And now it's like, I'm at a point in my life, I'm like, okay, I'm figuring this thing out. I'm reading, I'm growing, I'm developing, I'm leading. And it all starts with that, guys. So what's needed to go out there and hit FA on discount? We know it's from July 16th to July 31st, right? You need 4 recruits. Go get 4 of your 4 directs. We talked about it, right? 3 different type of recruits. Very simple. Somebody who really wants to go out there and freaking do this business. They want to go out there and get licensed. They want to go out there and get appointed. They want to possibly make a career change once this thing blows up. Recruit them. The second type of recruit was somebody, right, who doesn't have time. They want to go out there and do something big in their life. They want to go out there and make a lot of money. They just don't have the time. We got to respect that. They don't mind getting licensed. They don't mind getting appointed. They're going to go out there and give you your top 25. They're going to go out there and have you run their appointments and all that stuff and lead their team. But you got to split them. No problem. Great. A third type of person was somebody who hates business, somebody who hates any type of opportunities, but they love and care about you. They want to see you elevate in life, and it means for them to coming on board to help you elevate. They're not going to do anything, which is fine, but for them help coming on board to get you a contract to go from 30% to 50% or from 40% to 50%, that's a freaking big deal, right? So we know we need the recruits, you know, you need the apps, you know, to get the points. We talked about that, guys. But how can you simplify this thing? You got to simplify. When I make my goals for the month, I'm like, okay, we need to do this. I know exactly how much premium I need. So when you're going out there and saying, hey, you want to go out there and you need 4,000 points, the premium is $334. You got to find 300 people, somebody put away $335, or you got to have multiple people put away $334. Whether that's people putting away $50 a piece, $20 a piece, writing a $15 app, whatever that is, you got to go out there and get something done and say, great, I just wrote a $50 policy. I'm going to change that number and minus $50. Now that's my new target. And I'm looking at that every single day to the end of the month until it's completed. And once I complete it, if I'm one of those guys and I'm like, oh, I'm action oriented, I take something, information, I run with it. And maybe tomorrow you go hit FAF 444, or maybe even better, tonight you go hit 444. Now it's like, okay, once I hit it, I'm not relaxing and kicking back. No, hell no, man. Now I'm trying to figure out who else can I help? Can I help a downline? Maybe I don't have a freaking downline. Can I help a sideline? How can I be of assistance? Because once you start to help people out on the side of you, that's when you get the real blessings. Guys, I don't get anything from doing this call. I don't get any overrides from the 60 people who are on this call. But guess what? I owe it to freaking C4 in spring, right? I owe it to freaking Joel Molina, right? Having a conversation in Vegas and changing my life, right? So when these guys ask me to do something, I'm not going to sit there and hesitate. Today I had some appointments to do some apps, but I'm like, you know what? I'm pushing around because this is important to me. It's important to see Max Life hit SVP. I'm freaking a big fan. I love the Eatmans, and to see them reach SVP, that's a big deal because I remember talking about this stuff when I was in the freaking base shop. They've always wanted to get to this level, and to see how close they are, to know that they already have the MDs knocked out and all they need is a freaking point. It's time for some of you guys to go out there and flex and sit there and say, you know what? I got their back. I'm going to go out there and make it happen, right? Maybe somebody in this call says, hey, I'm going to go out there and do 30,000 personal points. I'm not going to wait on anybody. It's going to be me. I'm a freaking flag carrier. And once you have that mentality, guess what? People are going to follow you. So what's the premier levels in PHP, guys? And then we'll wrap it up in a little bit. Sorry about that. But the premier levels in PHP is field associate. The first level is field associate. You go out there and you hit field associate, it's a premier, it's a freaking big deal. So like I said, if you just got started with this company, you're associate, or you're maybe a trainee, it's a freaking big deal. You hit FA. You're gonna start doing pre-games. You probably may be doing some trainings here and there. It's the first level of leadership. The second level, premier level, is marketing director. That's where I'm at. You got a lot of marketing directors on this call, right? That's where they're at as well, right? It's marketing director. That's the second premier level of PHP. It's a great level to be at. You get a lot of overrides. You know that you're building a true business, because once you hit marketing director, now you're a business owner. You're not a business owner until you hit marketing. Once you hit marketing director, you're like, okay, now I'm a freaking business owner. My business now starts. So that's the beginning of building something big for yourself. And the third level is senior vice president. That's SVP, baby. SVP is a premier level. That's when you know you have at least 6 direct marketing directors. You got a squad. You got some firepower behind you. You're representing. You're right. On the update videos, you're a key picture of that, right? You're building something, right? You're bringing value to the company. These are big deals, guys. And guess what? When you hit these different premier levels, it's closer for you reaching your dreams and goals, right? Whatever those dreams and goals are, I don't know what your dreams and goals are, but let's look at them. Maybe you're somebody on here who says, you know what? My dream and goal is I want to make sure that money and finance is not an issue, right? And I hate freaking traffic. So I want to just drive my nice vehicle up to my private helicopter, jump my helicopter, and take me places I want to go. I don't have to worry about nothing, right? Maybe if we go down to the left-hand corner, maybe you're a Ferrari guy, or you're a Ferrari girl, and you want to go out there and buy a nice Ferrari and drive around, and you like fast cars, and that's your baby, right? And you know that, hey, if I stay on my job and continue to give my job everything I got, I know what they're going to give me. So now it's time for me to make a change, to go out there and give this business everything I got. I want to give myself everything I got. I want to give C4 and Spring everything I got. I want to go out there and give PHP everything I got because I want to accomplish my dreams and goals. Maybe it's a house and you want a pond or whatnot, some kind of waterfall in front of your yard. Maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe that's you, or maybe you're that person who says, you know what? I want everything on here. I also want a freaking vacation home in Tahiti where it's in the middle of the freaking water, and I can wake up, grab my coffee, walk out on my balcony, slide down a slide, get wet in the 70-degree water, right? And hop up and get a suntan and relax. I don't know what your dreams and goals are. This is something that you got to create for yourself. I talked a little about it on Saturday. You got to create that vision board for yourself so you know what you're running for. But I tell you one thing, by you going out there and hitting FA, that's a freaking start. That's where this dream starts. So once you do that, now it's like, okay, I'm in the process of beginning to make this thing a reality, guys. So that's my time, guys. I'm not sure we have any time left, but if we do, I can answer questions. That's completely up to your leaders, and we can go from there. But I appreciate you guys giving me some time tonight to go out there and train a team. You guys, any question that you can ask? I got a little time on my hands.
Not a question, a comment. Thank you so much for the nuggets, the motivation, the inspiration. Great nuggets. Thank you so much, Bob.
I love it. Hey, Helen, I know you're the host. The call is yours. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, Brandon. What an amazing.
Come on,
Let's give him a hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Thank you. All right. So I think this is this where Coach Curtis comes in? I'm not real sure, as this is my first time hosting. So. Okay, so we've got a question here. Drop some questions on the chat. Oh, here he is. There he is. Coach Curtis. Hey.
Hey, Ellen. Great job of hosting, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
If Brandon has some time. I would love for if the team has some questions for him. Brandon, you killed it. All right, I love your language, man. Love what you got going on. But if the team has any questions for him, I would love to pick your brain for I don't know 5 or 7 minutes, if so.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Hey, Curtis, this is Ron. I had a question. Hey, Brandon, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, what's up, Ron?
So first of all, man, thanks so much. I got so many nuggets, but I love how you went step by step and told us what you did to make the money you made. And I totally pushed it out to my team right away because that's where we are. But my question to you also is, how did you get your team to buy into that? My story is, I'm telling myself you did it first. But if not, then tell me how that happened for your team. Because I noticed, man, you guys been killing the numbers.
Ron, my language is all about coachability. So all I talk about all day long is how my business has changed because I became coachable. And they've seen that over the months, and they know that how coachable I am. So as I'm doing that, I'm just duplicating people to be coachable to me. Yes. So when I call a shot, I try it out first. I tell my team, I care about you a lot. I'm not going to steer you the wrong way. So when I call a shot, they know I tried it out first. When I created this, I literally had one of my top guys sitting next to me at the desk. I said, listen, I just created this right now because I got off an MD call and I need to get my personal numbers up. You're my witness. You're going to watch me do this. He sat there and watched me make the phone call. I set the appointment. He came back to the office. He was literally listening to me the whole time, and I closed 7,500 points like that. And now, when I roll it out to the team, they don't question it,
right?
Because they understand that I'm adding value to them. They understand that everything's about coachability, and that's what changed really in my team was me being coachable, and then my team seeing me being coachable, and now my team's following that and duplicating that.
Brandon, I have a question. I actually posted on the chat, but I can tell you. My question, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the question is, what book are you currently reading, aside from the book of the month? Or what book, let's say, I see that you're recreating yourself. What book helped you towards that on recreating yourself? Or what were you reading at the moment while you were going through that recreation?
Yeah. So right now I'm currently there's two different books that I read. Right, the book that completely changed my mindset was a book called The Slight Edge. Okay, that changed my mindset. The current book I'm reading right now is by Magic Johnson. 32 ways. I have a picture of it here. 32 ways to become a champion in business. That's what it's called. 32 ways to become a champion in business. He talks a lot about his struggles and how a lot of people thought that, hey, because he was a basketball player and he made millions, it'd be easy for him to transition and go into business, but it really wasn't. So it tells him that the grind and the story behind that. And right now, I'm in the mindset right now where I'm like, hey, I need to become a champion in business. So I'm reading that book and I'm coaching it out slowly by doing it in different presentations to my team so they can grasp that knowledge.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Good question. If you have a question too, I'm not looking at the chat. Just go ahead and hop on and ask me.
This is Brandon Thrash from Apex. It's funny, I started following you because somebody accidentally tagged me when you hit your marketing director. And I'm like, my last name's not Bowman, so I'm not sure who they're talking to, but they said congrats, and I was like, wrong person. But as a leader without a title, so I've been in the business a year this week. I'm an associate. I missed the 444 promotion twice. I hit PC, didn't hit FA. And right now I'm in that, like, I lost a lot of my team. So I only have like maybe 2 active agents, and one is like a downline to my downline. So I'm trying to figure out how to make sure I keep myself motivated and selling myself the dream. That way I can keep them motivated while selling them the dream, because I know this works. It just hasn't worked for me yet. So how do you keep that alive when you've been in the business that long and you're like, like you just haven't hit that next level?
Yeah, I can totally relate to that, man. Me being I've been a broker for next month. It'll be for 2 years, and I've been like, nobody knows my name, and besides the last literally 4 months of the business, right? So a lot of it, man, is really using the people around you and using their story and using their success. So by you seeing somebody who's around you, like a C4 and Spring E-Man, and you're saying, hey, this is somebody that I respect. This is somebody that's my coach, my mentor. And if they can do it, so can I, right? And then also finding somebody who's successful at your level. You got to look at that. Who's successful at your level? What are they doing? And how can you hang out with that person and figure out and reach out to them and figure out what they're doing to be successful at that level? So one of the things that I did was I looked at somebody who's a broker at my level. I said, okay, this person's successful. Let me follow them and really pick their brain and watch what they're doing. I want to know their social media. I want to know what they're doing, right? And then I also picked somebody and I said, okay, who's somebody 3-4 positions higher than me? And now I can, that's somebody that I can relate to. And now I can see what they're doing. And now that's my goal. So my best advice for you, man, is just to look at who's winning around you, stay close to them, and stay coachable. Reach out. Obviously, I know C4 and Spring or whoever your MD is, stay close to that MD and listen to them, because they've been where you're at right now and they know how to get to the next level.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Okay, Brandon, this is Anthony from Apex as well. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, brother?
All right, great. So I know you have to make a switch, right? So you have to make that mental switch to go from one area to the next. So my question is, like, what was your biggest hurdle mentally, and how did you actually figure out what to do to make that switch so that way you can get to the level that you're at now?
Yeah, so when you're making a mental switch, man, I literally had to get away. It was crazy, man. I remember, going into this business, it's rocky, man. It was rocky for me because I wasn't giving it my all. And I in 2019, I literally took the year off, man. I remember I took the year off. I wasn't coming to meetings. I wasn't doing really anything. I was a bad upline. And coming into this year, 2020, I literally took all the money I had in my savings in February, because I didn't do really the business in January, Believe it or not, I didn't do the business in February. I took all my money that I had and I said, I gotta get away. I'm gonna get away and I'm gonna go away on a vacation, relax, put myself in a state of mind where I'm really gonna think about my future. I want to think about my dreams and my goals and figure out if I really want to accomplish this thing. I'm 32 years old. Time's not on my side, man. I said, I got to make a decision. So when I did that, I made a decision while I was gone. I went to New York. I made a decision, man. When I came back, my decision that I made, I said, what haven't I tried yet in business? And one thing I have not tried yet was being coachable. I was able to go all the way up to marketing director without being freaking coachable. And if I want to go out there and get further, I said, man, I'm stuck. What can I do differently? When I was in New York, I made a decision. I said, there's one thing that it's tough for me to do is listen to somebody. I hate listening to people. But I said, for my future, to represent my daughter and my legacy, the Bowman legacy, I'm going to be coachable. And when I made that decision, I came back and I declared it. I had a phone call with Chris Hart. I said, man, from this point forward, whatever you call, I'm going to do. I didn't pick the phone up and call Dr. Cooper because I'm 50% Chris, 50% Dr. Cooper. Whatever you say, Dr. Cooper, I'm going to be coachable and do. And from that point forward, from March 1st, I've been the most coachable person I've ever been in my life. And because of that, that helped me make that transition. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to take just a couple, maybe two questions, just quickly. Thank you so much, Brandon. We're just blessed to have you tonight. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Adon Chow from MFL. Someone already previously answered this question, asked the question and you answered it, but I happened to miss it, to be honest. So I wanted to know, the momentum, someone mentioned that their downline and they had a downline and they were also working with their downline's downline. How did you keep the momentum growing, even though they said that the business was working, but it wasn't working for them? What was your response to that question really quickly?
I don't think I answered that one. I wasn't answering anything in the chat. So you said that your downline, say that one more time.
It was the question that Brandon Thrash asked in terms of being an associate for a year and keeping the momentum like going, or like how to build his team, because he knew that the business worked, but it wasn't working for him in particular. What was your response to that?
Yeah, I was telling Brandon that he needs to find somebody who's at his same level, who's actually getting the success that he's looking for and figuring out what they do, but also give him a stretch goal and find out where he wants to go. So the biggest issue right now with people, when you're looking at, you have a goal, sometimes it's just a number. You say, I want to do this, this, and this, and have this type of lifestyle, but what does that look like? So when you actually put that into a person that you can go out there and say, I want to go out there and duplicate and be like that individual and have that type of lifestyle, now you give yourself a stretch goal and say, okay, I want to catch this individual. So how can you catch that person, right? So like for right now, I'm looking at Javier Castro. I want to catch that guy. He's in the USA hierarchy. How can I catch him? So he's my stretch goal. He doesn't know this, but he's been my stretch goal since March. That was my stretch goal I've been looking at him since March. So I came back. I had one person on my team, two people, Jose Melgar, Brenda Ruiz, 2 people on my team. I said, that's where I want to go. So I said, who can I compete with right now? Who's winning as a marketing director right now, my same level? And then who can I compete with on a long haul on a stretch goal? And that's what I did. And I was able to now take that motivation and grow a team from having 2 agents to now having over 38 active agents in a span of a few months, and we're growing from there.
Appreciate that. So the takeaway would be winning on the same, like the person who's winning on the same level that you are, and then also having that stretch goal of someone who's at a higher level or a different level that you aspire to be. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I have one question. So there are a few of us that are on our marketing director run. What are some do's and don'ts that you would recommend?
You're in your
for these next few days.
Oh, and then to close it out?
Yes.
Yeah. No, if you're closing it out, obviously your dues is obviously you're working hard, right? But if you're closing out for your marketing director and you're saying, hey, this is the month, you're in a good position because obviously you have that 444. Everybody's running on that one. You want to make sure that you're just talking about your promotion. I mean, talking about their promotion, excuse me. talk about their promotion. One of the don'ts is don't talk about your promotion. A lot of people get put into a position and they're talking about their promotion to hit their promotion. It makes sense to talk about your promotion because you're so close to it, but you want to stay away from the topic of talking about your promotion. Talk about what FA or what them submitting the points can do for them, right? So one of the things when I was on my marketing director run, you know, it was more like, hey, I had a conversation with my team, and I say, what was your income goal? What's your income goal for the month? So now I know that they need an income goal. So then I changed it to a premium. So now if it's a premium goal, I know exactly how many points that each person is going to make. And it was my goal to go out there and help everybody hit their income goal. And they didn't know, it was never talking about anything in promotion. And what happens is whoever your upline MD is, they should be talking to your team about why they should come through for you. But that biggest mistake is if you're doing it. So worry about their income goal for your team. Worry about what their goal is. Maybe their goal is to hit FA. Maybe their goal this month is hit director. Drive them, do everything possible in your power to go out there and hit that goal for you to help them hit that goal. And once you help them hit that goal, then everything else will happen for you to hit your promotion.
I do have a question.
Yes.
JP from Apex. My question is, what's your routine? I know you get to the office early in the AM. What's your routine throughout the day? And my biggest one is, do you meditate? How's your spiritual level?
Yeah, my routine. Yeah, I made a declaration to myself, I guess, when I came back in March, and I said I want to be at the office, the first person at the office, or I want to be at the office before 8 a.m. That's my goal. Sometimes I get here at 7, sometimes I get here at 6, sometimes I get here at 8. But my goal is to get here by 8 a.m. no matter what. So I get to the office early in the morning. I usually, that's my time to kind of check, you know, the group me, what happened the night before, call some of my agents. And then I go and I prospect online, call some of the carriers, do some of those things. And then usually my day starts around 11 a.m. I start running appointments. And then from that, I'm just kind of flexible. I'm trying to find something I can get into, whether I can run an appointment, whether I can train. I always got to stay busy. So like today was a light day. I ran 2 appointments right before this. I wrote 2 $100,000 annuities that I submitted with some of my agents. And then but before that, it was very slow. So I want to make sure I occupy my time. So I just calls people and say, hey, let's hop on a training. Let's go over scripts. Let's go over, you know, how to close. Let's just do something. So my day is kind of sporadic. I don't really have like a set routine I do other than getting to office early and prospecting throughout the day in the morning, and also checking my back office and calling carriers and stuff like that.
Okay, all right, great questions. Once again, let's give it up for Brandon Bowman. Thank you so much for your time. So many nuggets.
Thank you, Brandon.
So many nuggets.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right, so I'm going to introduce our fearless leader who is so selfless and just gives of his time and continues to give and continues to give. Something I kept hearing from Brandon is, you know, put others first. And so that's a the golden rule. So it is my pleasure to introduce our coach, our fearless leader, Coach Curtis. Let's give it up for Coach.
I love it. Helen, I love being in business with you. You did a great job hosting, by the way.
Oh, it was my first time. Thank you, sir.
First time. Give her a hand clap. Everyone make yourself give Helen a hand clap.
Woo! Let's go, Helen.
You're right, Helen.
Gotta love her heart. Gotta love her heart. All right, perfect. So really quickly before I have a couple of different topics I'm gonna bring up, and then I thought it was great training. Brandon, if you're on this call still, I know that you probably clicked off, but we really appreciate you again taking the time and adding so much value. Like, oh, we're on the BOM, I'm listening, so I'm like, oh, that's a good nugget. That's a good nugget. So hopefully we recorded. I think we're live on YouTube, so we're going to definitely go back and definitely listen to what you were talking about with the new scripts and everything. And I remember having a meeting with you, and when you were in the Rancho office, I think it was it last year in like August? It was August. You're like, hey, can we talk? And we had a real serious conversation, and it's exciting to see the transformation of you, man, the recreation of you. So again, congratulations to you, man. Keep your foot on the pedal, man. I'm looking forward to keep seeing you grow as well in the business, man. So thank you again for taking the time. Really, really appreciate that.